Defining the future, rethinking the past. Also from my side, a warm welcome to the IAPh conference at the center here of the history of women philosophers and scientists. Thanks to all of you, online participants, keynoters, speakers. And I warmly welcome also those who give me the hybrid company here, Professor Mary Ellen Waithe, Chris Sanchez, Katerina Karpenko, Federica Giardini, Gabriele Gutzmann, Ivana Shukala-Karasman, Luka Borsic, Wolfgang Heuer, Jürgen Klüners, and of course, thank you to this outstanding center team. The International Association of Women Philosophers was founded in Germany in 1976, and it is my special gratitude to remember this event with a workshop and a keynote this afternoon at our conference. After holding conferences in such venues as Alcalá in 2014, hosted by Stella Villamea, Melbourne 2016, hosted and organized by Shaki Broad and Karen Green, and Tsinghua University in Beijing in 2018, organized by Xiao Wei. Now in 2020, it was that the Center for the History of Women Philosophers was entrusted to take over to organize this conference. Initially planned as the IAPh biannual symposium, this conference had to be postponed because of the COVID pandemic. And as the pandemic is still a threat to many of us, this conference takes place as a hybrid event. And as you know, the flooding of the landscape is raging in Germany and the neighbor countries. But there are so many countries in the world that are facing the struggle with environmental disasters that have doubled in the last 100 years. We cannot leave this unmentioned, talking about defining the future while rethinking the past. In times of great global concern, climate change, economic turmoil, and rapid technological changes and progress, women philosophers are due to present their ideas concerning the future. Economics, biophysics, and technologies are the crucial sciences that will occupy the philosophers within the next centuries. We live in challenging times. Not only white, old boys are fighting back. The culture of inclusion and diversification. But they are fighting windmills. They will not stop the flow of time, as there is a new kind of epistemology evolving. The path it takes changes our understanding of the world, of science, and human values. We are going towards a new understanding of science while we move towards a new understanding of interrelatedness. This new epistemology is irreversible, and it changes also our understanding of history. The turn from a hierarchy and function-driven ontology into a primarily knowledge-driven ontology comes along with an idea that proves how interrelated we are and how deeply mutual interrelation is important. It's important to strive to nest everything and everyone to a place of its utmost flourishing existence. The new technology can support us to change our world. We are moving towards a world that can leave each individual as what they are, with their abilities and with their differences. Sciences, economics, medicine, and education will turn towards individualized and diversified needs, striving for quality instead for producing quantities. Today we realize that we have lived in an era of science that has deceived us to a large extent. Its sources were flawed, its methods intentional and biased. Women were excluded everywhere and their knowledge suppressed. Anyone who thinks you can do science without including women's knowledge is measuring the universe of knowledge with significant omissions. It is as if Newton only included every second planet in his calculation. How could a world ever develop to the best based on such an ignorant philosophy and omitting science? How could a world evolve for the good if it emerged on such a sketchy and false and certainly malicious and oppressive thinking? The politics of depriving people of their history is still practiced. But the turn from a dividing ontology to one of analyzing our mutual interrelatedness is about to happen. There is no longer place for human supremacy over nature and the cosmos, and certainly not one for a hierarchy of genders and races. We all face historical challenges. We are, however, united in striving for an inclusive society to sketch a different view of the world. This new world will flourish simply because this alone already fights corruption that comes with the oppression of gender and diversity. We must reshape the future while we rethink our past. Milestones have been taken in these last 40 years, and awareness is changing. The United Nations advanced landmark agreements on gender equality, such as the Beijing Declaration and the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women. With more than 160 contributors and speakers, so about nearly 500 participants and 160 speakers from all parts of the world, from Israel and the Arab world, from China and the United States, from Canada, Japan, Russia, India, Australia, Brazil, Argentina, Uganda, Netherlands, Latvia, Turkey, Poland, Spain, Finland, Lebanon, Taiwan, Greece, Italy, France, United Kingdom, and about 20 keynotes from China, Latin America, Ukraine, South Africa, Japan, and Iran, United States, and more. We dare to take the first steps to a new understanding of how to shape this future such that it might shape a better world for us all. As the conference organizer, I'm indebted to those who provide so many good talks and raise their voices within the next days. I am extremely grateful to Ulrike Detmers. Ulrike Detmers is the donor of the Elizabeth of Bohemia Award. The Elizabeth of Bohemia Prize is the first prize in history that celebrates the long history of women in philosophy and is awarded for outstanding services to research on women in the history of philosophy. So I'm happy to welcome Mary Ellen Wade as the awardee of 2019, and you all are invited to participate at our award ceremony at 4:30 this afternoon. I'm of course grateful to the Center's team for its spirit and support. My thanks goes especially to Felix Greve, our conference manager. I'm grateful to the Deutsche Gesellschaft für Philosophie for its funding support and for bringing into life the working group of women philosophers in the history of philosophy. Finally, I will thank the World Philosophers Organization, FISP, La Fédération Internationale des Sociétés Philosophiques, for its support of the conference. We are grateful to the Deutsche Forschungsgemeinschaft for funding this conference. Let's take this conference as this first step towards enhancing the intellectual global power of women philosophers to shape the future by rethinking the past. Thank you for being with us.